Hi, I'm Astrid, and this is People in Perspective. Today on the show, I have Brian Sharenow, who's an event planner. Thank you for being here, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
So, my first question is, what was your education?
I went to college in upstate New York, a college called SUNY Brockport, and I got a Bachelor's of Science in Event Management.
Why did you choose to become an event producer?
When I was in college, I did a bunch of events for some philanthropies, and then I was also in a fraternity. We actually produced a big Oktoberfest one year, and after that, for a week or two, I watched kids walk around campus talking about how great the event was, and I thought it was pretty cool to do something where you can have an effect where people would actually talk about something that you created. So I shifted my focus from being in the sports business world to doing events.
I remember when we spoke last, you told me that you worked the Olympics. What did you do for the Olympics?
So after I graduated college, my wrestling coach from college actually called me up and said, I can help you get a job with the Olympic Committee. I do a lot of work with them if you're interested in moving from New York to Colorado. So I told them I would, of course, for the Olympics. So I worked the '96 Olympics, and I was working for USA Wrestling at the time. So I worked for the governing body of wrestling for the Olympic sport and got to spend 2 weeks at the Olympic Games and actually work the events and be a part of the team.
Yeah, I bet that was a great experience.
A lot of fun.
What did you do before FMG events?
So after leaving the Olympic Committee, which I'm dating myself, but that was in '96, I then actually moved to Chicago for a motorsports job, which I worked from '96 to '03, and then I decided to leave to start my own company.
Okay. Well, what is FMG Events, your company?
So FMG stands for Frontier Management Group. It was a company that I started. I had a lot of experience doing a lot of different types of events, and I wanted to go back to being able to do sporting events and concerts and festivals and a bunch of different things rather than just motorsports, which I was doing for a number of years.
What events did you do?
I've worked on pretty much every type of event there is, from a kid's birthday party to a wedding. But I've done races, concerts, festivals, parades, motorsports events. Trying to think of some other things. Festivals, festival management, brand management. So pretty much every type of special event there is.
So you mentioned races. What are the races that you've done?
For a long time I did 5K and 10K races, but then I also shifted for about 12 to 14 years. I did obstacle races all over the country. So that was really fun and exciting. It was different. People, all different shapes and sizes, got into obstacle races. They were super excited about it. Some of them, it was interesting to talk to some of the people because some of them were trying to overcome fears. Some of them were just trying to get in shape. Some of them were doing just because their friends were doing it. So it was pretty fun. And then I also found a niche where I started working at the Brookfield Zoo, producing some of their races, and I've been doing that for the last 7 years.
Okay. You did an event called Doc Dogs years ago. Do you still run that, and what is Doc Dogs? Yes,
so Doc Dogs has been seen on ESPN and also the Great Outdoor Games. Many people have seen it. It's where dogs run down a dock and jump into a pool for long distance. And most people don't even know that's an actual sport. It started as a filler act during TV commercials for the Great Outdoor Games, where they were doing that just for the live audience, and then we built it into an actual sport and event that travels the country, and we do about 250 events a year for those.
It's really cool. You also told me that you did the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Chicago, the yearly one.
Correct. So when I first started my own company, a person that I worked with at the motorsports company had also left, and he became the executive director for the Thanksgiving Day Parade. His experience came from parades originally. So we teamed up, and I did all the operational aspects for the Thanksgiving Day Parade and have ever since 2003. So to shut down a city street in Chicago, it's not an easy task, and to be able to bring bleachers in and set up all the things that go into the parade and then actually have a 12-block section of the city blocked off. It's a really fun event. A lot of people are excited about it. It's one of the biggest parades that's in the country, so I'm pretty proud to be a part of it.
So you told me that you travel a lot. Where have you traveled?
For work, I've traveled all over the world, and people use that acronym, and they say that, but mine's true. I'm actually, in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to Bulgaria to do a monster truck show. But I've been to Australia, Europe, which would be Germany, and I'm trying to think other places I've been to. I'm going to Spain coming up as well. Canada, of course, Alaska, which was super fun. I went to Alaska during the winter time and the summertime. So it was negative 32 degrees for an event that I did, and then it was also 80 degrees, and I got to see 23 hours of darkness and 23 hours of sunlight, so opposite spectrums. So I've been pretty fortunate. I've been to every major city in the country. I've got to go out of the country. I have more extended travel that's coming out of the country coming up, and it's just great to see different cultures as well as doing my job at the same time.
Well, you mentioned Monster Truck Show with travel, and how far wide has that spread?
All over the world. We actually put trucks into sea containers and we ship them overseas. We are finishing up. Bulgaria will be the second to last event coming up that we are finishing up on a 12-city tour in Europe. And then we're going to be taking that to Australia and then the Middle East later in the year. So all over. And it's interesting because when you go to other countries and they don't get to see things like that, the excitement on the kids' faces and the parents, it's a great feeling, like knowing you're bringing something to be like, wow, I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, sorry. What are your events you're doing now, currently, besides Monster Truck shows?
I am planning currently right now, so as you said, the Monster Truck shows, I work on a tour that has 100 of those that are happening in this year. I'm also doing 4 food festivals in 4 different cities. I'm doing a brand management program where we actually work with sponsors on a concert series that's going to span over 1,400 concerts throughout the country. And then I'm also working on the 200 plus Doc Dog shows events a year that we talked about, the Thanksgiving Day Parade that'll be coming up that just passed a few months ago, but we're already planning it for next year. And working on new business, trying to work on different types of festivals. There's also a program called the Magic of Lights, and that's a holiday light show that we also work on as far as the logistics and the setup, where sometimes people will walk and look at them, other times it's just a drive-through experience where cars can go through and see them all. So, again, trying to have a different array and different experiences. I'm also working on a golf tournament that's going to be coming up. The one thing I love about events is you get to meet different people, you get to go to different places, but each event, while it's kind of like an apple, the core of every event's the same. The outside color is just a little bit different. So it's nice to have different experiences and be able to meet different people and have different aspects of your job every day to kind of keep you young and fresh.
Well, thank you. I'm Astrid Paulucci, and this is People in Perspective. See you next time.